Well, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Capital Connections podcast hosted by Kisher Capital. We're an investment advisory firm located in Illinois, and we love to help people connect their finances to their future. I have a very special guest today with me, S.J. Bulmer from Bulmer Consulting. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. Excited to talk about a couple different things today and learn a little bit more about you and what you do. I'd love to just open by asking you about your story. Just talk to me a little bit about where you've come from and how you've gotten to where you are now.
Oh boy, that's a bit of a story.
Yeah.
So, I started working in the medical claims management team. When I started, I was 18 years old, started with data entry, moved up to each one of those levels, and eventually I became an escalation manager after being there about 20 years. And so I became like a fixer. So when by the time something got to me and my team, there was something definitely wrong. Usually structurally, paid claims were being done. There was something wrong. And so it needed more complex skills, diving in, navigating those things and figuring out who could help us fix those problems. Mm-hmm. And so I became a fixer. And so that's kind of what I was known for. And I love the structure of diving in and figuring out what was wrong and how to fix it, and then turn it around and help it make it run smoothly, efficiently, fix those problems. And so that's kind of the operational procedures and structures that I learned. And I learned a lot of different things along the way. One of my favorite things is Six Sigma. So not a lot of people know about that, but it's a problem solving tool and it has different levels. And so I really use those things to move forward. Unfortunately, then there was a merger and acquisition, and I was laid off in 2009. And as we all know, that was the recession, the height of the recession. So it was like, oh boy, what happens now? And my family and I moved. And so we went to a new location, started finding a neighborhood. So we and a family. And so we joined a local church, and an amazing opportunity happened. So one of the local churches was having like a ladies group, and I asked for a prayer request that I find my new path. And about a month later, the opportunity presented itself, and I purchased a portion of an already existing company. Mm-hmm. So I purchased a list of 29 names of a local residential commercial. Well, it was residential at the time, cleaning company. Just 29 names. 2 employees came with me, and that started Elite Cleaning of Washington. And so that kind of got up and running in 2011, and it quickly grew. The 29 names didn't stay long. By about 2013, there was probably over 200 customers at the time.
Wow.
And probably about a team of 10 at the time. And at this point, all my operational, systems, operations, all of that was good. But these darn finances, that was like, what in the world was going on? And I feel like I could be a smart cookie, but this is a whole other branch. It's the next level. And so it was kind of funny, but I actually was advised to go to the SBDC, which is Small Business Development Council. Mm-hmm. We don't really have one locally, but this morning I was at a meeting and they have one in Wabansie. So that was kind of nice to know that. And I think they have one in Elgin as well. But I met a nice gentleman there called Ron Nielsen, and he became my mentor and is my mentor today. And he asked me to take a class called Profit Mastery. So I took Profit Mastery University, which is one of the classes I love. Mm-hmm. And it's about 16 hours. So you got to do some homework.
It's in depth.
It's in depth. It's in depth, but there were so many aha moments. And I basically ran with it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely dove into Profit Mastery. It got me squared away in a very, very short time and then helped me scale the business.
Yeah.
And so about 2015, I actually started mentoring people about Profit Mastery. Through Ron's assistant, I'd come in and audit the class, be a guest speaker, those kinds of things. And then about 2017, they asked me to be a facilitator. So I started coming in and actually teaching profit mastery in 2017. And while I was still running Elite Cleaning in Washington, and also I was helping other businesses. So I knew systems really well, achieving goals. So I started mentoring other businesses that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 2019, my husband came home and said, we're going to be moving and we're not going to be staying in this state. Well, if you can figure out a way to claim a property not being in the state, let me know. Yeah. But so I had built Elite Cleaning to be about 350 clients, 25 staff, and that's recurring clients. Used to have move out cleans. We had a lot of commercial claims. I could do SAM's contracts, so it's government contracts. So I had a lot of different things going on. And so I had built the company to where I could sell it. And so I contacted my friendly broker. And normally it takes about a year to sell a company. I actually sold my company in 6 weeks.
Wow.
It was ready to go.
Yeah.
It was ready to go. And he knew some people that were really interested in it. And I had talked to him a few years before. So I had started this process a few years before, like, what would it look like?
Yeah.
Because when your husband's job does relocate quite a bit, you know that's not going to stay for a long time. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And so I sold it December of 2019, and Bulmer Consulting started officially. And then we've just traveled across the country, and I've brought it all with me.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here.
It's an incredible story to hear how you came from insurance and being kind of an escalations manager and turning around Elite Cleaning and being able to sell it. And I think you've got it listed on your website and on LinkedIn, a couple other places, but you sold it for 22 times the original.
22 times the original investment. Yes. So from the time that I bought it to the time I sold it was not even 10 years.
Wow.
So it was an amazing investment. I wouldn't look back. I wouldn't change anything. It's been really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I sold it to a veteran, and it is still going strong to this day.
Wow.
So he still contacts me a couple times a year.
So gives you some updates.
Gives me updates. Yeah. Some of the same employees that I had are still there. Mm-hmm. So if you build a business that way, people stay, employees stay, customers stay, and it's really about the culture that you build within the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And I think you've got the track record to show as well. Like you were able to do that, by becoming a manager, by staying diligent through Elite Cleaning. And now you're at Bulmer Consulting officially, started mentoring people early, but you're at Bulmer Consulting, kind of 2019, right after you sold Elite Cleaning. Mm-hmm. Through Bulmer Consulting, how do you serve the community of DeKalb and surrounding regions now?
So a lot of things is really educating people. So it started out just doing profit mastery classes, and that has built into other things. So currently we do over 30 different types of workshops. Some are financial, some are HR related, culture related, systems related. We do have a Six Sigma class. So there's a couple different workshops that we do. And that's usually how people find us, is I'll do like free workshops, some more in-depth, smaller fee workshops, and then you have the flagship of Profit Mastery. Mm-hmm. And so we start with there. Usually that's what starts, is the workshops. They get to know you through there, and then it builds into the consulting. Here, so we do it across the country. A lot of stuff is virtual. And then in DeKalb, when I came here, I decided to join all the chambers and be really involved in the community, which is what I did before. And so I really like that. So in DeKalb, people are actually finding me through word of mouth, just for consulting. So it starts with just someone needing help with their culture, or someone needing a bonus structure. They're not sure that's correct. Someone needs a more financial analysis on how to look at their books versus once a year through their taxes,
Yeah.
Profit Mastery is also continuing education for CPAs. It's 16 credits. So it really is a different way of looking at the numbers, and it's a data-driven decision software that you get to use. It's a theology that you get to use and build. And so it's really meeting DeKalb County and anywhere else in the nation, because we do nationwide.
Yeah.
But it's meeting businesses where they are today and where they want to go. Do they have a goal? Are they having cash flow issues? Can we help with their budget? Are they having staffing issues?
Mm-hmm.
Do they need an updated handbook? All kinds of little different things. So consulting is different for every business, and we try to just meet them where they're at, and then where do they want to go?
Sounds like you work with a lot of people across the board, from HR to profit mastery, accounting, business valuations.
Systems, all kinds of things. Yeah.
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 And I do love to hear how you work with people across the board, and especially in the DeKalb County region and nationwide. One of the things that I think is interesting to see as well is kind of how you have gotten to where you're at now, right? So you've worked in insurance, you worked at Elite Cleaning, now you're at Bulmer Consulting, and you're helping people across a number of different ways, right? HR, profit mastery, things like that. For people who are listening and also kind of trying to think about, how do I take some of those next steps, or how do I move my business forward? Talk a little bit about what it was like just to connect your finances to your future. So how you were able to make it. Obviously, selling the business helps a lot, right? But what were some of the steps that you took to be able to get to that place?
So it probably all started where, I was a single mom of 2 boys, and I had a corporate job, so I always put money away. I took advantage of the 401ks that were available to me, and I always had money put away. I love how it takes it straight out of your paycheck and it just puts it in a bank account. It lets it grow all by itself.
Yeah.
So I've always done that sort of thing. So then when I did get laid off, that's a hit to a lot of people. Getting laid off unexpectedly, you're losing your job. It's not just a hit financially, it's also a hit mentally, right?
Yeah.
And so, but financially is a huge deal. And so, and back in the recession time, it took almost 5 months to get my unemployment to kick out.
Yeah.
So it was a long time. And let me tell you, unemployment payments back then, they weren't a lot of lots. They were very, 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 very small. Off the top of my head, I think it was $213 a week.
Wow.
Having a corporate job. So it was very, very small. So luckily I had done that. I had saved quite a bit to the 401k. So when we moved, I had money. I was able to do all those things. Looking for other jobs, obviously, And so when the opportunity from the church became available to buy that client list, that was an amazing opportunity. And it didn't use all of my money. It used a good chunk, don't get me wrong, but it made it available for me to actually then have my own job. So starting your own company, you become a technician, right? You become a technician, then you become a manager, then you become an entrepreneur. And so I love the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, one of my favorite things. But so yeah, you start doing those things. So you have the savings. If you don't have a savings account today or a 401k today, just start. Just put small amounts in there and build it up, because over time, when something happens, you're going to have that availability. You just got to have that one step. Just take a step, get over that little hurdle.
Yeah.
And you won't miss it. You just won't miss it. And so it's just little steps.
Yeah. Because looking back, 2009, you're in the middle of a really difficult economic situation, and you're laid off. It's a blessing in disguise, but at that moment, you have no idea that it is.
I had no idea. Even when I purchased Elite Cleaning, actually purchased a list and made Elite Cleaning, but I didn't know. I had never owned a company before. Yeah, I was a manager, but owning a company and being a manager helps. But there's a lot of steps along the way.
Very different.
It's very different. But then building up Elite Cleaning was wonderful. It made a legacy. It's still happening to this day.
Yeah.
And being able to sell that for 22 times my original investment, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
It's life-changing. And so I just really enjoy that. And I want to help others reach those goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been my way.
Yeah, it's so cool to see how you've been involved with people from the beginning, and how you really have a heart and passion to see others succeed and to be able to back it up with the track record that you have. There's a lot of different consultants that are out there that work with people in different ways. Mm-hmm. So I think another thing that's interesting to hear your perspective on when it comes to working with consultants, or, having consulting help in general, What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions? Because I can think of a few, but there's a lot of different consultants that are out there.
I think the biggest ones is that people think they're only for large companies, like Fortune 500 companies. Oh, you can't have a consultant. You're not large enough. No, we're just here. Consultants can be for very, very small businesses who can't afford a full-time or a part-time person to come in and fix or solve their problems, and we also come alongside them. So a lot of consultants, they can actually do it for you. They have their own set structure and you have to conform to that structure that's that program. For me, the only real program is Profit Mastery, and that's education based on your finances.
Yeah.
So it's really coming alongside people and what their goals are in the business or even their personal goals. Maybe they want to retire in 3 years, so that you want to come alongside people. You want to make sure I'm not doing it for you, but I'm helping you. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
A lot of consultants charge a lot of money. I have the luxury of my past history that I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And so I really like to do the free seminars, just get education, education out there, even if it's just an aha moment. That's still learning. You're still learning something.
Yeah.
And so that's something you can go back to your desk and go back and try, So really it's just, those are some of the big misconceptions is people think it has to be a really big company or they don't want to share what's happening behind closed doors in their business. And I get that. Confidentiality is super high for me. I know many of you and some of you really want to know my customers and you'll never know.
Yeah.
The only ones you get to know are the ones that actually tell you.
Yeah.
I have an extremely high level of confidentiality. You really have to do that as a consultant, but I want you guys all to meet each other. You can meet each other at workshops or different things. And it's nice to see when they start connecting the dots. Oh, she works with you. Oh, okay. And so the light bulbs start turning on, but it's really nice. I just want to partner with people, partner with their businesses. What are their goals? What do they want to reach? What are their problems that they're having?
Yeah.
One customer up all night worrying. Now, 6 months later, doesn't stay up all night and worries. And his wife is very thankful he comes home every night at a decent hour. So that's a bonus, right? And it just takes tweaks. We don't know what we don't know, right? And so a lot of business owners, you are the technician, you are the manager, you are the entrepreneur. Yeah. Your employees and your customers look for you to have all the answers. We're also humans. We don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
And all of us have little bit specialties in little different areas. Mine happens to be a fixer. Mm-hmm. And I really value education. So for me, that's my area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I love it because I do think that there's a lot of different perspectives out there about working with a consultant or what services they provide. And I think it's great as well that you do, free webinars and seminars to give education, but it is also good to have some skin in the game, right? You have to have some level of investment in seeing your business thrive and being able to flourish. So I think that's important. I'm a little bit more familiar with it, but for those who aren't and are listening or watching the videos, what would you say, working with you and going through that process? I know it varies, but what could someone expect if they're working with you?
So usually if I get an email or a call or referral of some sort, I want to have a conversation with you. So I'll usually set up a quick 30-minute virtual conversation. Sometimes it's a little longer, sometimes it's a little shorter. Mm-hmm. And I just want to hear what's going on. What are the things that you want to do? And it's absolutely free. There's no obligation. There's no nothing. And so I just want to hear what your struggles are. Some people, I just answer a question and they're on their way. Yeah. And there's no fee whatsoever, Mm-hmm. Others, they have a couple of different ideas and they're not sure which direction to go. So I usually recap that conversation with maybe some ideas of things. Some of it can be free workshops. Some of it could be a book that they might need to read. Some could be, I could dive in and do a little more consulting with you, but I always give them options. Yeah. And then from that point, they either pick the options or pass on the options, or maybe they want to change it. And after the conversation, they decided to go in a different direction. It's okay. Either way is okay. Mm-hmm. And so I usually start working with them if they want me to. And we can either meet in person or virtually. I do equal amount of behind the scenes work as I do in your face. So let's say you hired me to solve a problem for an hour. You're getting an hour face to face with me, and we're getting an hour behind the scenes. So usually it ends up being like a half hour, 45 minutes. And then I do the behind the scenes work. And then I come back to you with how to implement it. What do you think? And we kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
Recently I just did a whole bunch of SOPs for a roofing company. We did about 5 or 6 of them for their new manager who's coming in. And that went back and forth for about 6 weeks. And then she started her new job, and it was flying results. Made it a lot easier than when the last person they hired had that position.
Yeah.
Because you really have that set structure for them. And SOPs are there to do what SOPs are, standard operating procedures, as people didn't know. But it gives you like 80-90% of what the job is. So you're minimizing those unnecessary questions. So you're giving yourself free time back. So it's reclaiming your time.
Yeah, that's really good. And so cool to hear about how you work with people differently and kind of that initial engagement and going back and forth. Would you say the average engagement is closer to, 3 months, 6 months, couple weeks? Is it vary heavily?
It kind of varies. So some people, um, it can be an hour. They just need to help on one little quick project to project thing. Some people want to work on one project and then a next project in 3 months. It really depends on their budget, kind of what they want to do and what they're, usually downtime is the best time to kind of do a little bit of stuff, but you can do it at any time.
Yeah.
But usually when people have a slower downtime, like I do a lot more workshops in the wintertime because a lot of people are slower during this time. But it can be a little bit different. I have one customer that's constantly coming to me every month. So that actually sparked something that I did. So I did a membership subscription, so membership pro. And so people can pay, I don't know, I think it was like $100 a month or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they can see everything. So all the workshops that I've done, whether they've come or not, are behind that wall. All the resources, templates. There's several of them that love just going in and at their own pace. Oh, I need something for my handbook. Okay, let's pull out the template. Oh, she's already got inclement weather because it's starting. She already has one already there. Okay, let me put that in my handbook because it wasn't in my handbook. So there's different things that you can pull those resources from.
Yeah, I think that's really good to have, to be able to have a resource library and be able to go at your own pace. For some of those who just don't have that flexibility of time to be able to get it in when they have the opportunity to is really good. So glad that we've been able to have a great conversation today. And I know we've battled some tech challenges behind the scenes, but as we kind of get ready to wrap up and close, I just wanted to give the floor to you and kind of ask, for anybody who's out there listening or watching, is there anything specific that you want to share with the audience?
Sure. Just start. So a lot of things is like, so if you're wanting to save some money, take advantage of 401k, take advantage of putting it straight from your bank account into a savings account. So you're not even seeing the paycheck, but build up those things. It helps bring security, even if you don't know you're doing it at the moment. Just do little steps, little hurdles. For business, educate yourself on something new. Take the time. It's an hour to do a free class. Build up those skill sets. It's really just one little bit at a time. Baby steps is the biggest hurdle.
I think that's great. And what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Maybe your email, website, phone number? What would you say?
So our website is bulmerconsultants.com. And my email is sj@bulmerconsultants.com. So those are some easy ways. I can give my phone number, 360-890-6775. We have a lot of free workshops coming up this month. I have one tomorrow. I have one on tomorrow is about streamlining your small business. So it's a little bit about operations and systems. The one next week is understanding your financials. So if you have a hard time reading your P&L and your balance sheet, it's a free little hour class next week. We're also doing a profit mastery class on the 15th and 16th this week. So just reach out and let me know if you need help and how I can serve you.
Love it. Well, again, really appreciate you coming on, SJ. It was a great time having a fun conversation and hearing a little bit more about how you serve people, not only in DeKalb County, but nationwide too. So again, thank you for coming on and having a great conversation. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. Eric and I built this relationship over the last couple months, and it's been really great getting to know you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for listening to the Capital Connections podcast. We really appreciate you tuning in. You can learn more about how to connect your finances to your future at kishercapital.com. We'd love to schedule a meeting with you and have a great conversation. Advisory services offered through Kisher Capital, LLC, an investment advisor registered with the state of Illinois. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Kisher Capital, LLC, and its representatives are properly registered or exempt from registration. The information on this podcast is not intended as tax, accounting, or legal advice, nor is it an offer or solicitation to buy or sell, or as an endorsement of any company, security, fund, or other offering. Information provided should not be solely relied upon for decision-making. Please consult your legal, tax, or accounting professional regarding your specific situation. Guest speakers are independent professionals and are not employees of Kisher Capital. We do not receive any compensation or referral fees from these individuals or firms. There is no obligation to engage their services, and clients are free to work with any provider of their choice. The information linked to any third-party guests on this podcast is strictly provided as a courtesy and convenience. When using any third-party information provided on this podcast, we make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of information provided by our guests. The information on this podcast is provided as is, and without warranties either express or implied, and the information may or may not be free from error. Your use of the information provided is at your sole risk.